Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening to another episode of Dan Tony Sports. My name is Dan Snyder. Tonight, I'm not joined by Tony Casper. I'm not joined by Dan Beebe, but I am joined by Dan O'Shea. So we've gone from Dan Tony Sports to the 3-Dan band down to the Dan Duo.
Dan Duo, I like it.
How are you doing tonight, Dan O'Shea?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Better than the New York Jets at the moment, but we'll get into that in a little bit.
That's like a low bar, man. Are you okay?
Yeah. So basically, I'm doing really bad if I'm doing a little bit better than the Jets. But like I said, we'll get into the Jets in just a couple of minutes. We got a lot of good things that we're talking about tonight. We're going to talk about the Jets. We're going to talk about the NFL coaches on the hot seat. We're going to throw in a little bit of NBA. Going to throw in a little bit of NHL. See, having only two of us opens it up for us to talk a lot more topics. So we're going to have a lot of fun tonight, yeah?
Yeah, we don't got to listen to, Tony and Dan's nonsense.
The nonsense.
Oh, they're listening and cursing me right now.
I hope so, too. I think that makes for a great show. I love when Tony yells at me. It's frustrating in the moment, but it's gold for the podcast.
Oh, it's highly entertaining to me, at least. I would imagine to others, but,
I mean, you're not the one getting the brunt of it. You're not being yelled at.
No, I know. It's almost exclusively you being yelled at.
Seriously. It really is. It really is pretty much exclusively me. All right, what do you say we get the show started the same way we usually do, and that is with our pigskin poetry. Sorry, Dan O'Shea, but man, what happened to the Jets? That was such a bad game. I mean, losing to Matt Barkley? Damn, it's kind of lame. Is it time to fire coaches, or at least Todd Bowles? Or can he save his job, or has time run its toll? What about Jason Garrett? Will he survive the year? After beating the Eagles, does he have a reason to fear? Marvin Lewis still has a job. How? He's been the head coach for, 80 years now? And he just doesn't win when it's needed the most. His offense tends to fold and his defense turns to toast. Is Mike McCarthy's job safe? It is, you'd have to think. Whoever wants to fire him, they're just a little dink. Is there anybody else that we can agree has to go? I'm sure there are more, but none as bad as Bowles. That is
very well done.
Thank you. That's not to rub the salt in the wound. That was the Bills just ripping off the Jets jersey, pulling down their pants, pooping on their chest, and smearing it.
Yeah, and if I was, of German descent, I might enjoy that. But I am all aboard the Fire Bowls train. I think I have been for about 4 weeks now. I was early on it. I was an early boarder.
No, you've been on it for over a year now.
I was on the probably needs to go. Now I'm on the definitely needs to go. And, I read a report that Mac's job is safe, and I don't know how accurate that is. And I don't know how wise that is either. I mean, he's made some moves that I agree with, but they tend to be obvious moves.
Well, I mean,
his drafting, it's been subpar. I would say he's an average GM.
Honestly, I think he saved his job by drafting Marcus May and especially Jamal Adams last year, and then hitting it. Well, what we think seems to be hitting it with Sam Darnold. So I think having two very good draft classes in the past 2 years, the NFL, and a lot of people will say this is a cliche, this isn't me with my infinite wisdom and knowledge, is most definitely a what have you done for me lately? And lately, he's produced some studs.
Right, but aside from mostly obvious picks like Adams, like Williams, he he hasn't really done anything outside of the first round, which is the problem. You know, you need to be able to hit at least occasionally in the later rounds so that you can build a complete team under the cap. He so far really has whiffed after the first round. You know, case in point, Christian Hackenberg taken in the second when he easily could have been taken in the fourth, and probably in hindsight
shouldn't have been taken at all.
Never should have been drafted. But
Chad Kelly was Mr. Irrelevant. He's more relevant than Christian Hackenberg.
Exactly. But yeah, Bowles definitely has to go. You know, then I guess you can see what Matt can do with a head coach that he hires himself rather than one that was kind of, you know, placed with him. It's kind of working that way nicely for the Bears right now. That's what they did. You know, John Fox got fired, but their GM stayed on. I forget his name off the top of my head. So it could work out, but it could also not. And then, you know, then what do you do if it doesn't? It's like, do you fire the GM and keep a head coach after like 2 years? Because I gotta imagine that Mac's job is only safe for about 2 years if it's safe right now. You know, no one's expecting playoffs next year, but the year after that, you better turn this team around.
At the very least, be competitive.
Right. You better have built a playoff team and not just a wild card team, like an actual contender.
That's impossible. They play in the same division as the Patriots.
Yeah, well, in 2 years, Brady might be retired. You know, if he ever retires. But no, he's definitely got a lot of work out ahead of him. I think they should probably fire the entire scouting department to, you know, try and get some new eyes in there so they can get some of these later round people. But yeah, the entire coaching staff, except for probably a couple of the, you know, line coaches need to go. You know, that's Bowles, that's Casey Rogers, that's Bates. All three of them need to be gone.
Bates is terrible.
Oh yeah, he's horrible, and
I'd rather have Norman Bates.
Got rid of like Morton because he clashed with Todd Bowles' philosophy, and you know, obviously that was that Morton had a winning philosophy and was willing to adapt to a passing league, and Bowles is, you know, I'm just gonna run it, you know, no matter what the situation is, or I'm just gonna do something super conservative no matter what the situation is. Let's kick a field goal when we're down 28 points in the fourth quarter. Like,
hey, is that Jason Garrett?
Yeah. He's another one that probably needs to go.
Yeah,
well, I know you guys had a nice win this week, but I'm not confident in the Cowboys as long as he's at the helm.
I mean, let's give him credit. He did have a 13-3 team twice. He did win NFL Head Coach of the Year. So it's not like the team can't play well with him as the coach. He's just a shitty coach.
Right. I think that speaks to. Is there a GM in actuality for the Cowboys?
That is a very tricky question to try and answer.
It shouldn't be, but
because it looks like what you're getting from the Cowboys as far as GM is like a good cop, bad cop kind of thing. Like, Jerry Jones ultimately is the general manager, but you've seen many instances in which his son, Stephen Jones, has been like, no, you're an idiot. Stop. For example, Jerry Jones had written on the draft card that they were going to draft Johnny Manziel. Stephen Jones grabbed it, ripped it up, and wrote down Zach Martin. Who wins? like you're talking about Johnny Manziel, who is, you know, among the top 5 busts, at least, you know, in recent memory in NFL history, versus arguably the best guard in the NFL right now and has been for the last 5 years. So, so they have that. I'd say the GM is this invisible, nameless, faceless man, and on one shoulder is Jerry being the devil, and on the other is Steven being the angel.
All right, so that's certainly an interesting dynamic there. That being said, though, the team, isn't as bad. I do think Garrett does need to be looked at as kind of on the hot seat. Same thing with Marvin Lewis. These are coaches that have had very limited success, especially once it comes to playoffs. They have regular season success, but they can never seem to put it all together, despite a long, long tenure. After that long, I think you do want better results. That being said, they are miles ahead of guys like Bowles. Hugh Jackson was obviously the first one that needed to be gotten rid of. Now that he's gone, it's like a tie between Bowles and Vance Joseph of the Broncos.
I disagree. I think Hugh Jackson needed to go less than Dirk Cutter does and less than Todd Bowles does.
No way, dude. Hugh Jackson was 131 and what was it? How many ties did they have? 2 or 3 or something like that? In the past 3 years, he had to go, beyond anyone else. That is just a losing mentality. At least Bowles put together a winning season once.
Okay, he put together. It fell into his lap. Is what it was. Plus, he's I hate listening to his press conferences because he is just the absolute dumbest individual in the history of professional football. This is not me making things up. When asked about the struggles with the center, he's like, I didn't notice that there were any problems. You didn't?
Yeah. Literally, Long can't freaking snap the ball, and you're just leaving him in there all game when you have a rookie QB that, ends up getting hurt. I don't know if it's a direct result, but...
I have a conspiracy theory, and I don't actually believe it, but I'm going to run with it anyways. Todd Bowles knows that he's going to be fired. All right? He knows it. It's done. Now, he's bitter that McCagnon's going to keep his job, so he's trying to sabotage the one thing that's holding McCagnon's job safe, and that's Sam Darnold. It sounds far-fetched, doesn't it? But it also sounds like it's plausible.
I mean, given results, sure, but...
Speaking of Darnold, are they trying to ruin Sam Darnold? Because that's exactly what they're doing.
I don't think they're trying to. I think it's just going to happen if they stay the course. That's why, some people are advocating that yes, Bulls should finish out the season to give the young QB some stability. But I'm like, when your stability is that you're on a nice, solid, well-built road to fucking hell, that's not good. You don't need stability there when that's where you're headed. You need to shake things up. You need to get rid of this loser mentality. You need to get rid of this coach that the players have clearly checked out on. If you watched, especially this Sunday's game,
I'm sorry. Go on. So I was going to chime in, but you were saying something more. So go on.
I was just going to say you need to give the players something to play for, and you need to show that people are held accountable. You don't get to just sit on your laurels to finish out the season. You fire Bowles, you fire Bates, you probably fire Rodgers as well right now, and you say next coach up, and you see if anyone shows any talent for, coaching at the next level, and then you bring a new coach in after that interim head coaching job.
Yeah, so
completed this season. Get
rid of the head coach, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. Promote the quarterback's coach to offensive coordinator. Promote your secondary coach to defensive coordinator, whatever linebackers coach.
We don't even have a quarterback's coach. It was Bates. He got promoted to OC, and then they